Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kurang jelas Pak Fajri.
Coba.
Gimana sekarang? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waduh, kecil Pak Fajri.
Lebih.
Mungkin karena
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Itu dia. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat pagi menjelang siang Bapak Ibu semua. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Bapak dan Ibu yang hadir dalam ujian promosi ini, marilah kita memanjatkan puji serta syukur kehadapan Allah Subhanahu wa taala karena atas ridhonya lah kita dapat bersama-sama menghadiri ujian sidang promosi ini. Kepada Promovenda, harap segera bersiap-siap. Pastikan slide PowerPoint-nya sudah dibuka dan menayangkan melalui fitur share screen untuk memudahkan dalam melakukan expose. Untuk ketertiban selama sidang berlangsung, kami akan mematikan audio dari peserta undangan. Selanjutnya kami persilahkan pimpinan sidang untuk memulai dan memimpin sidang ini. Pada Bu Dekan dipersilahkan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Sidang promosi doktor bagi Endang Darsih dengan ini dibuka. Saudara Endang Darsih, setelah kami membaca surat permohonan saudara untuk melakukan promosi doktor, dan setelah kami meneliti persyaratannya, maka sidang promosi doktor pada hari ini, Selasa, tanggal 12 Januari 2021, akan mengajukan pertanyaan atau bantahan-bantahan terhadap disertasi saudara yang berjudul English Lecturer Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge in Lesson Study Implementation. Apakah saudara sudah siap untuk ujian sidang ini?
Siap, Bu Dekan.
Sebelum saudara melakukan expose, kami persilakan promotor untuk menyampaikan pendapat dan pandangannya terhadap disertasi Promovenda kurang lebih selama 5 menit. Saya persilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Board of Examiners, Ibu Dekan, Endang Darsih, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, allow me to give a very short speech on Endang Darsih. First of all, I would like to congratulate Endang Darsih for her success in achieving this opportunity, which have been long the focus of her efforts in climbing the ladder of good scholarships. Endang has a special interest in English language teaching aspects, including curriculum 2013, learner autonomy, learner-centered teaching, and technology integration. This is evident in some of her works, including Indonesian EFL Teachers' Perception on the implementation of 2013 English curriculum, which is published in English Review, Journal of English Education, Volume 2, Number 2, Learner-Centered Teaching, What Makes It Effective, published in Indonesian EFL Journal, Volume 4, Number 1, and then Fostering Language Learner Autonomy, Indonesian EFL Lecturer's Voice, published in English Review, Volume 7, Number 1, and then Mobile Assisted Language Learning, EFL Perceptions toward the use of mobile application in learning English, and technology integration in speaking classrooms, published in the proceedings of the first International Conference on Science and Technology. In this dissertation, she's trying to investigate teachers' defect levels in lesson study implementation Encouraged by the debate on whether lesson study works in the framework of teachers' professional development, she has tried to see how TPAC levels develop through the implementation of lesson study in university settings. Using questionnaires, observations, and interviews, she found that TPAC levels develop as learning studies proceeds through collegial, collaborative, and interdependent learning among the participants. Well, Board of Examiners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, having examined her final draft, we have all our confidence to present Endang Darsi to this doctorate examination. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih kepada promotor yang telah memberikan pendapat dan pandangannya mengenai disertasi Promovenda. Selanjutnya kami persilakan kepada Promovenda untuk menyampaikan expose kurang lebih selama 10 menit.
Oke. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
First of all, I am extremely grateful to my supervisors, Prof. Didi and Bu Safrida, for all the support and guidance during the times when I was really down and depressed. And also please accept my sincere apologies for my mistakes and shortcomings. My sincere gratitude is for my examiners, Prof. Roger, Prof. Fuad, and Prof. Pupung, for invaluable insight, comments, feedback, and suggestions. A big thank you also goes to the Rector of Universitas Kuningan, Vice Rectors, the Dean, the Head of Study Programs, my colleagues for supporting my dissertations. It is an honor to me to present my presentation, to present my dissertation in front of you all. Now let me share my screen about the dissertations. Okay, the title of my dissertations is English Lectures, Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge in Lesson Study Implementation. And then my presentation will be divided into several parts. The first one is introduction. The second one is theoretical foundation. The third one is research methodology. The fourth is findings. And the last one is conclusion. Now let me begin with the first part of my dissertation, which is about introduction. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, technology is no longer a privilege in that its use in every part of life has become a necessity. Thus, integrating technology into education has become inevitable. Education and the use of technology in education have become two concepts that are essential to each other. In the 21st century, learning often entails students' participation in teamwork and real-world problem solving through the efficient use of information and communication technologies, or ICT. One approach to implement learning in the 21st century is to understand how ICT integrated learning can be structured to facilitate such pedagogical goals. In order to support ICT integration, teachers need a specialized form of professional knowledge called Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge, or TPAC. Three key knowledge components are highlighted by the TPAC framework: content, pedagogy, and technology. Unfortunately, several studies show that ICT competencies of Indonesian teachers are unevenly spread across regions. Therefore, this of course exposes the need for developing TPAC. Professional development has come to be seen as an important way of improving teachers' knowledge and practices in teaching. However, the development of teachers' knowledge and teaching skills cannot be achieved effectively through intermittent training. They need to be enhanced through intense, prolonged trainings. Collaboration and cooperation are regarded as key factors in professional development and as necessary condition for the successful implementation of lesson study. While the preparation time, the tensions, and the stress resulting from monitoring of the teaching of their students are mentioned as the main difficulties. So ladies and gentlemen, the present study is aimed to first of all identify the English lectures technological, pedagogical content knowledge levels. Second of all, to describe the process of lesson study implementation in university. And the third one is to detect the progress of English lectures technological, pedagogical content knowledge after lesson study implementation. Now let's move to the theoretical foundation. The first one is about lesson study. Lesson study cycle, which is implemented in the university, is adapted from BABA 2007. It consists of 3 stages. The first one is planning English lessons and teaching strategies. The second stage is do, implementing teaching and learning in the classroom. And the third stage is C, reviewing the teaching and conducting a reflective meeting. Does lesson study work? Yeah, lesson study has become recognized overseas as a secret to the educational success of some countries. For example, in US, Lewis 2020 reported steps to create effective efforts for lesson study. Lesson study has also been adapted and developed in Irish College of Education and show that lesson study has the potential to greatly influence initial teacher education. This success story of lesson study, however, sounds very strange for Watanabe 2016 and Weston 2017, who just witnessed this failure as it is largely unused outside primary and secondary education. In particular, university lectures have very little support. And then the second theory is about TPAC. The TPAC framework is taken from Kohler-Misla 2009. It describes the relationship between 3 basic components of teacher's knowledge. The first one is content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and the third one is technological knowledge, which are required for effective integration of technology in teaching and learning process. And this is the research methodology. The research was conducted in a private university in Kuningan by using a qualitative case study design. 5 English lectures involved in this study. And then the data were collected in 3 phases. The first phase is before lesson study. The second phase is during lesson study. And the third phase is after lesson study by using self-report questionnaires, observations, performance assessment, and interview as well. And then they were all analyzed by using qualitative analysis. And then these are the study participants. They are coming from 5 different faculties. The first one is Faculty of Economy. The second one is Faculty of Law. The third is Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. The fourth is Faculty of Computer. And the last one is Faculty of Forestry. And then this is the finding. The first finding is about current TPAC levels. Based on the results of analysis, it is revealed that the current TPAC levels of English lectures are high in self-report questionnaires, yet low degree of technology integration in performance assessment and their actual teaching. This inconsistency between the results of self-report questionnaires, performance assessment, and also observation on their actual teaching indicate that the teacher's perceptions and confidence about their TPAC differ from what are observed in practice. And this is in line with Shannon, Moran, and Woolfolk 2001, that although beliefs of self-efficacy are often seen as a strong indicator of actual teaching efforts, different survey of self-assessment vary considerably on how the various frameworks are operationalized. Therefore, it is often the case that survey measure the confidence of the survey taker rather than his or her practical expertise. This inconsistency is also reported in the other studies, such as Douglas, Agee, and Kingwee 2014, and Kopcha et al. 2014, that self-report questionnaires did not correlate with what were observed in their real teaching and also lesson plan. And then the second finding is related to how lesson study is implemented in a university. And then these are the process of lesson study implementation in university. And then there are important characteristics which are observed during the lesson study implementation. The first one is collegial learning, which took place in all stages of lesson study. And then the second one is open and honest communication among participants. And then the third one is collaboration. And the last one is informal conversation in reflective meeting. So the participants were open and honest in communicating the points of weaknesses and also the strengths that contribute to the refinement of the research lesson. Through those processes, the participants of this study make progress with their TPAC. The progress is not only observed in their self-report questionnaires, but also in lesson plans and also actual teaching, which indicate high degree of technology integration. So ladies and gentlemen, we come to the conclusion. There are three main points in this conclusion. The first one is the emerging pattern of TPAC level shows high in self-report questionnaires, yet low in lesson plan and observations. And then during lesson study implementation, there are several characteristics. The first one is collegial learning. The second is open and honest communication among participants. And then the third is collaborative planning or collaboration. And informal conversation in reflective meetings are observed in lesson study implementation in a university. And then the third point is the progress of TPAC is observed not only in English lectures, questionnaires, but also in lesson plans and also in their actual teaching. So, thank you for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kami beritahukan waktu untuk tanya jawab dari setiap penguji disediakan kurang lebih selama 10 menit, meliputi pertanyaan dan jawaban. Let me tell you that each examiner has 10 minutes for question and answers. Kami persilakan penguji pertama, Profesor Roger Palmer, untuk mengajukan pertanyaan dan bantahan. I invite Mr. Roger Palmer to ask question. The time is yours, please.
Roger, you are still on mute.
Sorry, is that okay? Can you hear?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry about that. How does your model of lesson study and TPAC support your own teaching beliefs?
Okay, I beg your pardon, Prof. Roger.
How does lesson study and TPAC support your own beliefs about teaching?
Okay, thank you for the questions. I'm sorry, the network is low here. Yeah. As I told you before, that the lesson study implemented in this university has specific and special characteristics, such as collegiality, collegial learning. So we, the members of the lesson study, can learn from our colleagues or from friends about how to integrate technology in the teaching of English. So it, of course, will improve the TPAC or technological pedagogical content knowledge and its domain, such as the content knowledge. In plan stage, for example, we sit together and then discuss about the subject matter to be taught to the students. So by sharing and discussing and designing the lesson plan collaboratively, so of course it will influence our teaching quality. And then after that, by observing our colleagues practice in the real classroom, we learn something. We learn which pedagogical or which teaching methodology is appropriate to be taught for particular students, for particular context. So in studying that, we also learn something, and of course it enhances our pedagogical knowledge. And the last one, when we talk about TPAC itself, we not only learn about subject matter, teaching methodology, and then assessment, and then pedagogical knowledge, but also what is the technological, which is appropriate, what are the technological tools, what are the technological devices which are appropriate to be given in the given context, in particular students, in particular classroom with this particular subject matter, for example.
Okay, thank you. Besides collaboration, what additional technological training do you think teachers need?
Okay, thank you for the question, Prof. Roger. Besides collaborations, I think collegial trainings focusing on technological tools are really important to be given to improve English lectures technological pedagogical content knowledge, because lesson study itself cannot be successful if it is not supported by the workshop or by the trainings. So in the beginning, we design the workshop focusing on technology enhanced language learning to improve and to provide the opportunities for the English lecturers to learn about what technological tools can be used in this context, in this particular students with particular subject matter. So I think workshop is very beneficial to begin the lesson study implementation in university.
Okay, thank you. In your study, there's no appendix of the materials that the teachers created, but I'm just curious, what kinds of technological materials did the teachers use in their classes?
Okay, so I do apologize for the appendix that I didn't send to you, Prof. Roger, but it is actually printed and didn't send to Bandung. Okay, there are several appendix related to technological materials, such as starting from workshop, all the handouts given by the speaker of the workshop focusing on technology, it is also become the appendix. And then lesson plan. Lesson plan also, we focus on not only the component of lesson plan, but also the degree of technology integration. Because technology integration here, we focus on TPAC. So there are 7 components of TPAC. So in lesson plan, before lesson study, and then after lesson study, we analyze not only content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, technological knowledge, and then technological pedagogical knowledge, technological content knowledge, and technological pedagogical content knowledge. All data are actually in the appendix. So we analyze lesson plans, and then after that we analyze their actual teaching to look at the degree of technology integration. For example, in the beginning, whether the teacher integrate technology, what kind of technological tools employed in that classroom, how many technological devices that the English lecturers involved in the teaching and learning process, whether they just use the low degree of technology integration, whether they just use low technology or digital technology. So we observe their teaching and learning process after and before lesson study implementation.
Okay. And in Indonesia, is there enough support for teachers to use technology in classes?
I'm not sure in Indonesia, but in my university, I think it is enough. There is a learning management system developed by this university, and it is named e-class, electronic class. So during the pandemic of COVID-19, because the government required us to do online learning, so the all of the lecturers, all of the students are really required to use that learning management system. So regarding the technological tools, I think in this university, there are enough support to integrate technology in the teaching and learning process.
But in your study, you mentioned incorporating it in school settings. So is it possible to do this in schools?
Okay, yeah. In school, I'm not sure, but because the condition of each school is different from one to another. Maybe in big city, the technological tools are really supportive, but in remote areas, for example, in my village, sometimes the students did not have any laptop, and then the teachers are not able to operate computer or to know about the internet, how to download some application to teach this certain material. So it depends on the condition of the schools. Maybe in big cities it is enough support, but in remote area I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. That's my last question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Roger.
Okay, thank you very much. Selanjutnya kami persilakan penguji kedua, Bapak Pupung Punawarman, MSc PhD, untuk mengajukan pertanyaan dan bantahannya.
Baik, terima kasih pimpinan sidang. Untuk sebelumnya saya mohon kepada admin agar mute mikrofon semua peserta yang bukan promovenda maupun penguji. Ya, terima kasih. Baik, okay. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to congratulate Endang Darsi for your success to progress to this stage of Sidang Promosi Doktor. So this is the venue to promote you to become a doctor. Okay.
Thank you, Pak Pupung.
So congratulations.
Yeah.
All right. Now about the questions. I have 5 questions. So this is just a heads up for you. Okay. The first one is actually a kind of clarification. I would like to hear from you whether what I'm going to read for you is, you know.
The internet access is not stable here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, I can hear you, Prof. Pupung, yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. The first question is kind of clarification. I would like to hear from you if what I'm going to ask you is maybe a typo in writing the sentence, or if it is deliberately typed like that. So would you please open chapter 1?
Chapter 1?
Yes, page 2.
Page 2.
Paragraph 2.
Okay.
Line 8 until 9. Okay. So line 8, 8 until 10. Okay, of paragraph 2.
Paragraph 2 in page 2.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So let me read it for you.
Yeah.
As emphasized by Harris, Mishra, and Kohler in 2007, the expertise of technology integration teachers lies within the interaction between TK, PK, and CK that they can create. All right, so I just would like to have your clarification if it is a mistake in typing the sentence or if it has the real meaning that you intendedly mean.
Okay, so, okay, because you just need my clarification. So I am sure that actually this is right.
That is correct.
Yeah, this is correct. So TPAC is actually describes the integration between content, pedagogy, and technology. So here between TK, PK, and CK is correct.
Okay, can you read the sentence starting from the expertise?
The expertise of technology integration teachers lies within the interactions between TK, PK, and CK that they can create.
Okay, so what does it mean by the expertise of technology integration teachers lies something? Because it's a little bit hard for me to understand, so I need some clarification.
Okay, so I mean here is the expertise of technological, pedagogical content knowledge of the teachers lies within the interaction between TK, PK, and CK.
Okay.
Yeah.
The expertise of technology integration teachers, is that
Yes.
what you mean?
Actually, the expertise of teachers TPAC.
Okay, so are you saying that it is a mistake in writing the sentence?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do apologize, Prof.
Okay. All right, so you need to fix this.
Okay.
Okay, and then the second one, my second question is, based on your reading, what is the direct or immediate relationship between TPAC and lesson study?
Okay. Between lesson study and TPAC.
Yes.
Okay. The direct relationship. Okay. Here. From the beginning of my study, my focus is on investigating the English lectures technological, pedagogical content knowledge. And lesson study is proven to be beneficial and impactful on improving teachers' knowledge. But little research on TPAC is seen, I mean, which investigate the English lectures TPAC is not clearly researched. That's why I am interested in investigating TPAC through lesson study. Why lesson study? Because by lesson study, such as from planning stage and then do stage and reflective meetings, we have place, we have space, or what's so-called professional learning community. So we discuss, we sit together about not only the subject matter, not only the pedagogical knowledge, but also technological knowledge and the interaction between three components of teachers' knowledge. So by doing that, I believe that the teachers' TPAC will improve after following those three stages, but they have to have strong and solid commitment in following all stages of lesson study. That's all.
So the answer to my question is there any immediate or direct relationship between TPAC and LS, or whether,
yes,
let's say, lesson studies should be improved first in order to improve the TPAC?
Yes, of course. Based on my research, there is direct correlation between lesson study and the improvement of English lectures TPAC. But here there must be several conditions, there must be several characteristics that are necessary to support the effective of lesson study. So this is probably will not be successful in some universities beyond University of Kuningan, but in here, in my case, it is proven to enhance English lectures technological pedagogical content knowledge. For example, it is observed about collegiality, so we can learn from our college, we can learn from friends about subject matter, pedagogical, and also we can observe the real classroom of our friends. So we learn from that, and then we discuss to refine and to review the teaching, process. So we have open and honest communication about the strengths and also the weaknesses of that teaching process in order to improve our teaching quality. So I think direct impact on English lectures, technological, pedagogical knowledge are seen in my case.
Is seen. So meaning not significant?
Quite significant.
Seen or seen? You can see.
Seen. Observe. It is observed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. And then my third question. So in your well-informed opinion, what does the lesson study offer that other teacher professional development don't have that impact teachers' TPAC?
Okay.
So please explain the what, the why, and the how.
Okay. Why lesson study? Okay, what lesson study? Lesson study is a form of professional development in which a group of teachers collaborate and sit together to work on teaching and learning process, and then starting from design a lesson plan and then implement it in the real classroom and review it in reflective meetings. Okay, so in my case, I choose lesson study because the first one, it provides opportunities for the participants of lesson study to engage in dialogue with friends, with colleagues, and with peers who work on teaching and learning process to assess and review the teaching. Okay, and then the second one is learning from practice. So the second, why lesson study? Because we can learn from practice, we can observe the real practice of teaching that bridge both theory and practice through action research on particular lesson that contribute to the better teaching. So I think that's all my explanation, Pak Pupung. So there are two special characteristics why lesson study are chosen in my study. The first one, because it provides opportunities for the participants to collaborate, of course, to improve the teaching quality. And then the second one is collegiality, to build the collegiality, to build strong connection among the participants of the lesson study. We can learn from peers, we can learn from friends to improve our teaching quality.
Okay, so what I can get is you chose lesson study because lesson study offers collegiality and like self-reflection among teachers that other teacher professional developments don't have.
Yeah, because sometimes it is not enough if we just, for example, attend the professional development such as workshop, because theory, learning the theory, maybe we can learn from workshop or from reading a lot of resources, but to improve our practice, we really need learning from practice, learning from the real teaching in the real classroom with the real students. So we observe how the teacher, the model teacher implement a certain particular pedagogical or teaching methodology with appropriate technology in the classroom.
All right. Okay, thank you, Endang. Question number 4. Okay.
Last question, ya, Pak Pupung.
I have 2 more questions, so but it will be quick. Yes. So in chapter 4, discussion section, page 97, paragraph 1, line 7 to 10. I would like you to elaborate the sentence that you meant that self-report measures did not correlate with what were observed in their in their real teaching and lesson plan.
Okay.
Would you please elaborate in very, very briefly, because I have one last question which is very important.
Okay, so this is actually in line with my findings about the inconsistency between the result of self-report questionnaire and lesson plan and also actual teaching. Okay. And then, so when my research revealed that the result of self-report questionnaire is high, it doesn't guarantee that this report questionnaire can also have the similar result from their lesson plans and also their actual teaching. That's why it does not correlate about the result of self-report questionnaires on lesson plans and actual teaching. It just measures the confidence, it just measures the perception, but not on their expertise. That's why lesson plan analysis and actual teaching observation are implemented to know the level of English lectures technological pedagogical content knowledge.
Okay, thank you, because this one is very important. The last one, last questions. What does your study contribute to the field of TPEC and lesson study? And in what ways does your study or your findings improve the field of the teaching, the TEFL, the TPEC, and the development of lesson study as they never happened before? Okay, that's the last question.
Okay. My research is expected or will contribute to enrich the theory, the insight, and theoretical foundation, particularly in terms of lesson study implemented in university. As Prof. Roger said in the first examination, that lesson study in university is a controversial issue since it has very little support from university lectures. So I believe that it will contribute to enrich knowledge, to enrich insight, particularly about lesson study in university, and in improving technological pedagogical content knowledge. By providing several features, by providing several characteristics which are observed in lesson study implementation, during lesson study implementation, so I expect that this can be implemented in not only this university, but also the other university by implementing these special features. So I hope that it can contribute to the betterment of teaching quality, especially related to the improvement of teachers' knowledge in terms of their feedback.
Okay, thank you Endang, and thank you Ibu Pimpinan Sidang. All right.
Thank you Pak Pupung.
Ya. Selanjutnya kami persilakan penguji ketiga Profesor Fuad Abdul Hamid MA PhD untuk mengajukan pertanyaan dan bantahannya. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Dekan. My first question is on your background. In your background, you mentioned that it is important to incorporate information and communication technology into school settings. And your argument is it is important to make productive use of technologies and to make them widespread in the school environment.
Okay.
My question is it incorporation of ICT in education as what has troubled you so that you did research on this topic?
Okay, thank you, Prof. Fuad. The answer is technological literacy. So I think technological literacy is one of the competencies that must be owned by the teachers and lecturers to support the 21st century teaching and learning. So I am interested in conducting the research investigating the English lectures technological pedagogical content knowledge, because that special form of knowledge are really required in today's era. For example, during the pandemic of COVID-19, the pandemic has caused the sudden shift from face-to-face teaching method to distance learning that require the teachers and English lecturers to utilize technology in their home, in their house. So, of course, it exposes the need for developing TPEC. That's why I am interested in investigating the knowledge called technological pedagogical content knowledge, which is about the knowledge of integrating technology in teaching English through lesson study.
Okay, so you have three research questions because of that concern, right?
Yes. Yes.
Number one is you are looking for knowing the TPEC levels.
Yeah.
And then how lesson study has been practiced at your institution. And the third one is the progress of teachers' technological pedagogical content knowledge. But it seems to me that your three questions are independent from one another.
Yeah.
How would you synchronize the 3 points you have investigated in an integrated manner? Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's right. My present study is aimed at identifying, the first one is current feedback levels from English lectures, and then describing the process of lesson study implementation in university. And then the third one is detecting the progress of English lectures, technological, pedagogical knowledge. How I synchronize these 3 points is, first of all, the study begins with measuring the feedback levels of English lectures by using 4 instruments: self-report questionnaire, performance assessment, observations, and also interview. And this instrument will give good indication of feedback development when it was used in combination. And then after that, the participants participate in lesson study implementation in universities, starting from designing the lesson, implementing the lesson in the real classroom, and also reviewing the teaching and learning process. And then in the end, so those 3 instruments were again used to investigate and to detect to detect the progress of English lectures, technological, pedagogical content knowledge after they participate in lesson study implementation in university.
All right. In your research methodology, you mentioned that to detect the progress of English lecturers' TPAC knowledge after lesson study implementation, you mentioned that the data sources include self-report questionnaires,
Yeah.
lesson plans, and then teaching observation sheet and interview. But still, to me, it is not yet clear how you assess progress here. You are talking about progress. So progress must be from one point to another point. So how did you do that?
Okay, to assess progress, the data were collected before lesson study and after lesson study implementation. So before the participant took part in lesson study implementation, they agreed to be observed starting from lesson plan. So they were asked to create a lesson plan, and then also they were asked to teach in classroom, and then to be observed by the researcher. So we assess the level of their English technological, pedagogical content knowledge before they participate in lesson study. And then after that, they participate in lesson study implementation, and then to see the progress after the lesson study over. So I analyze again their lesson plan and also their actual teaching, and interview about the progress that they made after participating in lesson study.
Okay. And my last question, because there is another question, but it has already been asked by Professor Pupung. You mentioned Professor Pupung earlier.
Amin for doa.
Good for Pak Pupung.
Amin.
Yes.
Have you read Pedoman Penulisan Karya Ilmiah UPI, the guide to academic writing at UPI? Have you read it?
Not yet, Prof. Sorry.
No. Do you know how many words are required for a dissertation?
100 pages.
No, not pages, words.
Oh, 10,000 words.
If you don't know, you don't know, I'll let you know.
Yes.
You have a shortage of 18,000 words to qualify as a dissertation, because yours right now has only 31,973 words.
Okay.
Okay. And our guide to academic writing has indicated to us that for a dissertation for social sciences and humanities, the range is between 50 to 60,000 words.
50 to 60,000.
50 to 60,000 words.
Okay.
So you have
So
a shortage of about 18,000 words.
Okay. Okay,
To
Prof.
qualify as an acceptable dissertation right now.
Okay, Prof. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I will revise it to become 50 to 60,000 words. Because there are many parts that I have to revise, since in the first examination I have major revisions. So I change most of all the content of my dissertation. So I realized that there are still many shortcomings of my dissertation, but I will revise it based on your suggestion, Prof.
Okay, thank you. 20 menit pas saya.
Terima kasih Prof. Fuad. Selanjutnya kami persilakan penguji terakhir sekaligus promotor Bapak Profesor Dr. Didi Suherdi MED untuk mengajukan pertanyaan dan bantahannya. Kami persilakan.
Okay, Endang. So how committed are you to your focus of study?
I am so committed.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, because you have multifunction as a wife, as a mother, as a lecturer.
Yes, as a lecturer.
Okay. How would you manage your time in realizing your commitment?
Because I know that not only as the mother of 2 sons, but also as a, Prof. Didi, I am so, I feel like I'm relieved that I can be in here. So, yeah, I manage my time. For example, when I did my dissertation when my baby slept but I am so committed. I choose to continue my doctoral study. So I have to finish what I started in 2016, and I committed to, yes, I have to graduate from my doctoral study to make my parents proud. This is actually my dream. And I feel relieved that I can be here in this dissertations. And thank you so much, Prof. Didi, for supporting me and for guiding me. Yeah, thank you, Prof. Didi.
Okay, now into the detail. How many indexed reputably indexed articles do you think you can write in 3 years?
For the future?
Yes.
I think I will try to write 3 articles, narrowing down from the dissertations. So I will write 3 manuscripts, will be submitted to the international journals, because my dissertation consists of 3 research questions. So I will narrow them down into 3 manuscripts by again learning about plagiarism, everything about plagiarism, to avoid double publication. So I have to be very careful in paraphrasing the content, and also in giving credit to all of the authors that I cite in my manuscript.
Okay, last question. What's your plan in helping teachers and lecturers in both lesson study and TPEX after this examination?
Okay, my plan, first of all, I'm going to design a learning material which consists of technological content knowledge. So it is a knowledge of how the content can be represented by using technology. So it is not only about printed book. So we are not talking about printed book, but how we design the materials that is, there is a integration of technology in that learning materials. And then after that, I will also try to, for example, share my knowledge and then my insight related to the technological pedagogical content knowledge to my colleagues, not only in this university, maybe in the other university. So I will plan to do that, Prof. Didi.
Okay, thank you, Endang. Congratulations, Endang, the family, Uniku, and also, of course, all the lecturers in our department. Okay, thank you very much. Ibu hatur
Thank
nuhun.
you, Prof. Didi.
Terima kasih Prof. Didi. Selaku pimpinan sidang, saya tidak akan menggunakan kesempatan untuk mengajukan pertanyaan, sanggahan, dan bantahan. Dengan selesainya pertanyaan serta bantahan dari seluruh penguji, maka sidang promosi doktor ditunda sementara untuk memberikan kesempatan kepada penguji untuk memasukkan nilai ke aplikasi sias.upi.edu, dan kami akan memindahkan promovenda dan para undangan ke waiting room selama 10 menit, dan setelah itu akan diperbolehkan untuk bergabung kembali. Terima kasih.